I'm bringing up the agenda as we speak here. Sorry.
I could put it up on our screen too.
That might be better. I'm bringing up the agenda as we speak here. Sorry.
I could put it up on our screen too. Okay, we are now live. And
make sure, Christina, that you turn your computer volume down. It might be, if you're on YouTube Live, you might be echoing back.
I should be okay. I turned off the YouTube Live.
Okay.
So you guys aren't getting any echoing, are you?
Not anymore, no.
All right. Well, I will hand the meeting over to Director Wheeler.
All right. Well, welcome to the Pillar Committee meeting for the Finance Pillar. What are we? November 22nd already. 3 days away from Thanksgiving. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, and then we'll do a roll call.
Ben, do you want to call it to order for us?
Well, I'll just call the meeting to order then. And do I need to do anything beyond that?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we weren't getting in depth any different than we normally do. So, and you're going to take the roll call, right, Christina?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Lindsay Park. Let me start. Director Wheeler.
Here.
Melanie Wagner. Here. Jenny Duran.
Here.
Kirsten Johnson.
Here.
Superintendent Carpenter.
Here.
And then myself is present.
So it looks like we got everybody except for Lindsay this week or this month. We'll roll right into the mission, vision, and values. Just as a friendly reminder why we are doing these pillar meetings. Our mission is to equip every student with the knowledge and skills necessary to be resourceful and successful. And our vision, which is derived from our strategic plan a couple years ago that we redid for a second round, is by 2030, the Escada School District will be a premier school district in the state of Oregon. And then, of course, our values are to inspire, engage, and achieve. With that, it looks like I have a board member update. I don't have much on that front, so let's just go right into the superintendent update.
Thank you, Director Wheeler, and mine will be pretty short. Again, I just want to commend Christina Weinert and the business department. We're making some intentional strategic efforts to communicate more regularly about the current events of the Estacada School District's finances. So just want to commend her as Christina and her team embark on some more YouTube live communications to share that out, not only with our community, but with parents and stakeholders of the school district at large. Also excited to begin having deeper conversations about capital construction improvements and how we can utilize the growth of the Estacada community through SDC funds to help us continue to upgrade some of our facilities up to and including the Buzz Randall Stadium to support our kids for the long-term future. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But in the meantime, we're focused on the strategic plan pillar of being transparent, open, and honest. We've got budget committee members here. We've got people a part of our budget to work on this together. And so excited about this opportunity. So thank you. And I'll yield the rest of the time back to Director Wheeler.
Thank you, Superintendent Carpenter. Let's go ahead and have Christina just go ahead and jump into the pillar dashboard at this point in time. This is our second meeting, I believe. Or no, it's our third meeting. I missed the last one, so I apologize for that. But this is our third meeting, so we're just kind of getting our feet under us and getting the groove of this thing. So Christina, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Thank you, Director Wheeler. I will go ahead and get my presentation running. So the first thing I want to remind is the goals of the sustainability and accountability. from our strategic plan. Our number one goal, which is financial trust, and that is to improve trust from our stakeholders and the wider Estacada School District community by making transparent financial decisions. The second category is create reserves, develop reserves funds to support the district during economic downturns or when unanticipated expenditures occur. And the third, alternative revenue source, create alternative revenue opportunities in addition to state funding. And I know we've talked a lot about the first goal, but I am hoping that as we continue to grow our pillar committee, we can grow in the second two goals too. Strategies, sorry, not goals. The two goals that we have right now as on our leader action plans is to score a 4.08. That is new for this year because we previously scored a 4.03 in our fall 2021. So 4.08 in the engagement survey, the superintendent manages district finances appropriately. The second is to maintain zero findings in the annual audit report. So why are we doing these goals? Well, as you've heard our Superintendent Carpenter say, it's to build trust within our district, within our employees, and within our community. It is also to cascade knowledge about district finances to all decision makers and stakeholders. They're not my finances. They're not Superintendent Carpenter's finances. They're the district's finances. And we want a way to share that message with everyone so they're able to communicate. And to maintain strong, reliable finances. And that is mostly seen in our audit, but that should be in everyday occurrences that we do. Our wins. I feel like we have quite a few wins this last month, and I'm excited to share with you. First, changes with Amazon billing have gone well. This was one of the things that came in is how do we speed things up and make things successful for our end users? It has gone really well. We first they were a little nervous as our building principals and our secretaries, but every report back that I've heard and that Kirsten's heard on our rounding is they are loving it. So that's very exciting. And it also means our P card usage is going down, which allows for them to use it for emergencies. The next, we're going to start using Forecast 5. This is a tool that has been offered to us, but we're going to dig in as a district, and mainly me and my finance team, we're going to dig in and build reports that can be used, different databases, possibly different reports to share with board members and our community. There's two different types of Forecast 5 that we're going to do. There's the monthly reports, which uses our live data. And there's a comparison to other districts kind of report. You can look at student data, demographics, salary schedules, and that's historical. That's based upon information that has been shared with ODE. So that's not always live data, but it is going to be very useful. The second, we're happy with our requisition to PO turnaround time. This is how our buildings create orders. And doing a comparison, I found that last year, the average amount was 4.45 days to turn it around. And at this point this year, we're at 2.88 days to turn around a PO. And then going to turn it over to Kirsten for a few minutes, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she's been finding in her rounding, because this last month she started rounding with secretaries.
A lot of
Hey,
it's,
Christina.
I mean,
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we jump off this screen, I got one question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Being that I missed last month, what were the changes to the Amazon billing?
Great question. So we previously were using Amazon on our P cards. So they would go in and enter orders and it would just hit their P cards. And what we've done now is we've been set up on an invoice system. So now we have every main user in our district is set up as a user, and they can enter the order and it hits our Amazon account, and then they invoice us, and it speeds things up for them, for the users, and it frees up their P card for other uses.
Gotcha.
Amazon is one of our big vendors that we use because they are so quick at getting items to us, and they're very, very reasonably priced.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah. Kirsten?
Okay. That actually was a big thing with the secretaries I talked with, because they were having a really hard time with reconciling the P cards for their principals because of all the Amazon and trying to get receipts on everything that they were buying through the P cards. The Amazon reconcile process is a lot easier. So they're all really happy with that. And several of them are happy that they don't have to use Office Depot as much anymore either, because that was also problematic. I had a couple of secretaries give shout outs to other employees, which has been really great. So I've been able to send the thank you cards on those. And I've been talking with secretaries too, and with Christina about doing some YouTube videos with instructions on how to use our absence management program and how to use Time Clock Plus, and just retraining and training some of the new employees on stuff like that. So, but overall, it's been really productive. It's been nice to get out and actually meet with the secretaries who I know all of them, but it's nice to be able to get out of the office and meet with them and see what we can do to improve things. So it's been really good.
Thank you, Kirsten.
You're welcome.
And the final win that I want to share is Principal Anderson asked at CRE, asked for a report to add to her SMORE. We are going to do this monthly for all schools. So you can see this report. What it's looking at, it's her building budget report. And it's divided into two categories: instructional services and support services. And you can see here the instructional service, she has a budget of 33.5 and she spent 13.76% of that. And the next support services, her budget is 15,750 and she spent 11.18% of that. A reason why I really like this is because all of our buildings are going to be communicating their financials to their community the same way, as well as this is the same look as a report I share with our board in our community. Any questions on it?
Maybe if you could give an example to the public watching. What's an example of an instruction purchase from an elementary school, and what's just one example of a support service purchase?
Yeah, I'll give a category. So instructional services is services related directly to students. That directly impacts students, such as classroom supplies. And support services is items to support, such as office of the principal. That's an example, something that the principal needs to do their daily duties, or a counselor needs to do their daily duties. That is a support service.
So then, making things go full circle, then a teacher needs something. So we use our Amazon account to purchase those pens, pencils, whatever it is that's needed. And then ultimately it comes back full circle and it comes out of one of these two budgets, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. And Jessica, this month I dug a little deep into barriers and actually had a little help from our auditors on our auditing report. Some barriers that we have is our internal controls. And I don't know if it's necessarily a barrier. It's just me really digging in and working with my team to revamp them to protect the district and the employees of the district. We have internal controls in place. I just want to get them communicated out better. And the second is staffing for separation of duties. This is something that the auditor also commented on. And let me explain this a little bit. It's kind of like a full circle. I should not be able to do something from start to finish in my department. I have to have a different set of eyes on it, and that is to protect me and the district from having too much control, pretty much. So separation of duties means that Ryan has to sign. If I do a bank reconciliation, Superintendent Carpenter reviews it and signs it off for me. If Kirsten processes a payroll, I have to I review that and sign that before she hits the go button on it. And if Julie's doing a check run for her AP, then Kirsten is putting the checks to make sure that, again, we have different people doing different duties. So staffing, we have the 2.25, and then we have quite a bit of duty. So just really moving that all around so that we're able to meet our requirements in separation and duties. Any questions regarding that? Kirsten, do you have anything you want to add on that?
Sorry. No, I think it's a really good idea because we haven't had a whole lot of that going on the last couple of years. So I think it's important that we're getting that set up now.
So the next 30 days action plan, YouTube video, you guys will see in the probably this week, my next video going up. Very excited. It's new, kind of looking a little different. So I'm hoping you watch it and give us some feedback. Update to business website. This is still on there. It's going to be on there for a little bit until it's finalized. Hoping we can get this done. I can work on it during the winter break. I did add a grants page on there, and I have our ESSER grant on there to communicate how we're spending our ESSER grant and what our ESSER grant is. And then we're also the next 30 days completing our next financials, our 2020-21 financials, and then starting our work with Forecast 5. Do you guys have anything you want to add on to that?
I would like to add one other piece to our 30-day action plan, or just to the routine. Jenny Duran has done an excellent job of really hardwiring success in our athletic departments. And I think it would be of merit every time we meet two as a pillar meeting, just to maybe do a quick budget or financial report from the ASB side as well, so that our community can see just how much we're bringing in for athletic fees, as well as what different budgets for different athletic departments look like as well. And so, Jenny, not to volunteer you for anything, but at the end of the day, ASB is another major place where the money of our school district flows in and out to support student learning and student opportunities. And so I'd love to have that be a part of this process.
I love that idea. And that, Jenny, I'm going to throw on top of that, I'd also like to give an update on how we're doing in our transition to our new software.
Okay, that sounds good. We're going for January with the new software, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So would you want all ASB budget, like all the balances? Or just like a few each month, or?
I personally would like, there's that one sheeter that just kind of talks about how much money is in there in each breakdown section. It's one of those one-pager ones that has everything on there. If we could just display that, I think that would be cool. But if you want to, but also if there's something that you want to highlight and or celebrate, I think that would be cool too.
Okay,
Love it.
That sounds good.
I can work with you on that, Jenny, too.
On the athletic front, isn't it typical towards the end of the year we make a transfer out of the general fund to pay for some athletics, whether it's the transportation component of it, or it's been a couple years since we've had to do it, but where does that fall at this point in the year, and how is that tracked?
We make that transfer every year, and what that pays for is ultimately coaches' salaries, transportation, dues and fees to OSAA. So it's really the administrative district level stuff that we're paying for. What ultimately what ultimately happens in the ASB is this is like fundraise monies. These are things that are raised by kids for kids. And so this is a completely separate account. So if a kid pays an athletic fee to play basketball, because it's the upcoming sport, at the end of the year, then the athletics department transfers those pay to play fees to the district office. And we take that alongside some of the other monies, because it just costs more money than that to run it. And then that's what that transfer is that you're referring to, Director Wheeler. But also, if the football team runs their gold card and makes $20,000, $30,000 out of that fundraiser, that's what goes into the ASB account. And that can only be used for the football program and specifically the kids of that program. And so this is where I'd like to be a little bit more transparent, just for good faith to our community, so that they can see what that looks like as well.
Gotcha.
Okay. The next step, I'm going to share with you some of our financial information as of October 31st. You can see here, our month to date, which that little column right there should be right there, is revenue. We collected 2.1 million. Our expenditures was 2.6 million. Our year-to-date revenue is 18.3 million. And our year-to-date expenditures is 8.2 million. We are currently projecting 40.7 million in revenue and 33.8 expenditures, which is an ending fund of 6.8 million. So here's a graph showing our revenue by funding source. You can see here, as of our state sources, which is our state school fund, is 63% of our revenue. And our other sources, which is our beginning fund balances, is 18%. And our local services is 7.1 million or 18%. And this is our budget to actuals. This is a lot like the report I showed you from Principal Anderson's request, and it's broken out. It's a lot the same. Instructional services related directly to the instruction of students. Our budget is 21.8 million, and we spent 22.7% of that. Our support services, our budget is 11.2 million, and we spent 29.6%. And at this point, we haven't done any other expenditures on our remaining budgets. This report here is our journal fund also by major object. And you can see here it's broken out by salaries, benefits, purchase services, supplies, and capital outlay. Capital outlay is construction, big projects. And then here is our year-to-date expenditures by major object. So our salaries is 32% of our budget. Our associated payroll cost is 17%, not of our budget, but of our expenditures, 17% of our expenditures. And purchase services, which is our contracted services, our utilities, and our subs, this is 41% of our expenditures. So these right here add up to 90% of our expenditures, and these are fixed cost. And that is what I have to share with you from the finance team. Any questions? Anything you want to dive into?
Christina, could we go back and look at those first two columns that you were going to send for Principal Anderson?
Yeah.
So the instruction one is, am I reading that right? $33,500.
That's her budget, yes.
So that's just strictly, not strictly, that doesn't include any teacher salaries, benefits and all that, because that's paid at the district level then?
Right. That would be, yes. that is at the district. She has purchase services, supplies, dues and fees. These are her budget that she can spend for her building. So
Okay.
the salaries would be down here in ours right there.
Okay. I guess the only thing I would say is if that gets released for public consumption on a regular basis, that maybe there's a asterisk down there that says teacher salaries and benefits come out of the district one, not this 33,000, because there's already a lot of people concerned about teacher salaries. And if we're splitting it between $33,000 between 22 teachers and however many paraeducators, they might get the wrong perception about Estacada School District.
That is a great, I know Principal Anderson did put that. We talked greatly that she wanted that communicated out too, but maybe
Okay.
I need to come up with a standard communication for all the buildings as they're sharing this out that explains what it includes.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Is there any other questions or topics we need to discuss?
Maybe in the next pillar meeting, Christina, you can spend 5 minutes or so just explaining the difference between general fund and capital construction funds so that we can be as transparent and forthcoming as possible about how money goes into different revenue accounts and that allows the school board to authorize the usage of monies as they come in from different places.
I sure can. I can prepare reports like I did for the general fund, for the capital projects fund, if you guys would like. I can bring. Okay.
One other thing I wouldn't mind bringing up would be the back or the north complex, and then the 7 acres on the other side of the future Hillway expansion that the city will take part in at some point in the near future, hopefully. Has there been any more conversation or any looky-loos with regards to that property? Or is that kind of sitting firmly in the school board's court of which direction we go with that 7 acres?
We haven't heard anything from, we reached out to a couple real estate agents and no one has gotten back to us with any offers and or prices. We did get a fair market price, we felt like, and we're hopeful that something would come in over that, but nothing has come in. So therefore, it still sits in the hands of the school board.
Okay. All right. Well, do we have a December meeting or are we going to jump December and just go to January?
January.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Christina, for putting this together, and thanks everybody for joining. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. And if there's no other questions, we can adjourn here about 4:30.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You guys too.